There is a quiet paradox I want to offer you like a small coin. The world shouts for the dramatic breakthroughs, overnight changes, grand resolutions. Yet truth often arrives in whispers, the quiet click of a door as someone steps back into their own life. Why does the small sometimes feel so large and the large so hollow? Imagine a river, not a roaring torrent, but a slow, steady stream that has carved a canyon through rock over ages. No single drop boasts of its victory. Each drop is humble, and yet together they have moved mountains. Hold that image. There is a question in it. What is the work of a single drop? And what happens when you stop believing in its power? I remember a young student who came to the monastery furious at his own life. He wanted change like a thunderclap. He wanted clarity like lightning. I gave him a broom and asked him to sweep the courtyard for a week. He laughed at first. A broom? He felt insulted. On the first day he swept fast, angry, as if speed could erase his confusion. On the third day his hands softened. On the fifth, he began to notice the way the dust moved, the way the light lit the stone. He came to me on the seventh day, not with a dramatic insight but with quiet eyes. It is smaller than I expected, he said, and larger. He could not explain it fully. He only felt it, an unspoken steadiness that had entered him through the simple act of sweeping. There is a lesson here many of us resist. We believe that if we cannot see immediate results, then the act must be meaningless. But what if meaning is formed slowly, like the rings inside a tree? Layers of attention stacking on one another until one day you look up and you are a tree. If this resonates, pause and take one slow breath with me now. That breath you just took, what was it? A tiny ritual. A single gesture that signals larger things. Patience, presence, permission to return to yourself. Tiny rituals are doors. Sometimes the door is a breath. Sometimes it is making your bed. Sometimes it is the way you fold a scarf or the small pause before you answer. They are not magic. They are invitations. Invitations to practice saying yes to the present moment. There is an old story about two pots. One pot carried water every day to the edge of a garden. It had a crack along its side. The other pot was perfect. The perfect pot would brag of its fullness and shine. The cracked pot was ashamed. Yet along the pathway, the leaked water watered a narrow strip of soil where beautiful flowers grew, more vibrant than anywhere else in the garden. The cracked pot thought itself broken, but each morning its leak offered life. What does this teach us? That our imperfections, repeated with tenderness, become the very channel of growth. The ritual is not a public display of perfection. It is the private tending of what matters. The world often rewards grand gestures, yet life is made in the repetition of humble acts, the cracked pots pouring, the broom sweeping, the breaths returning. Now you may be asking, is this merely sentiment? Is this a gentle idea to soothe us between tasks? There is a practical anatomy to this quiet power. Each tiny ritual trains one thing, attention. Attention is like a muscle. When you lift a small weight every day, strength follows. When you direct a small amount of attention, again and again, you shape your inner landscape. Habits are not merely behaviors. They are patterns of attention made solid. A farmer tends a field not by grand spells, but by daily watering, by checking the soil, by removing a single weed. Over a season, the farm becomes a harvest. Over a lifetime, a character is formed. We often wait for permission to start. We tell ourselves we need time, space, the perfect plan. But the paradox returns. It is the small thing you can do now that opens the path to the larger life. You do not need permission. You only need a tiny commitment. A pebble thrown into still water will not move the ocean, but it will produce a ripple that asks the next pebble to follow. I want to offer you something simple, something quiet. Not a program, not a promise. A tiny experiment. For 3 mornings, do one small act that belongs only to you. It can take 30 seconds. It can be as simple as placing your hand on your heart and recognizing that you are present. It can be sipping tea with fully awake attention. Just one small act. Do it each morning and notice what loosens, what aligns. Right now, try a tiny ritual. Place a hand on your heart and notice 3 beats. This is not training for productivity. It is training for allegiance to yourself. Keep that experiment in your pocket like a small stone. Carry it through the day. Return to it when you forget. This repetition will not make your life perfectly calm. It will allow you to come back to center more quickly when the storms arrive. You will be less likely to be swept by the winds of reactivity. This is the practical promise of smallness. It builds an inner home where storms can pass without turning you into their victim. You may wonder how small acts repeated can alter big things, relationships, mental patterns, your health. Consider the patient who took one short walk every day after dinner. At first it felt trivial. Months later, the doctor noticed improved sleep and steadier moods. Or the writer who vowed to write 2 sentences daily. A year later, there was a book. The key is not the quantity. It is the vow itself. The vow is a contract between you and your future self. I will show up, even if imperfectly. There is a tension here between urgency and patience. We live with urgency because life is fragile. Yet urgency alone often leads to frantic motion, doing many things badly. Patience, practiced through small acts, gives you a slow compass. It directs motion with steadiness. I do not say this to make light of suffering. Tiny rituals do not erase grief. They do not dissolve trauma with a neat step. But they offer a foothold. When everything else is uncertain, habit can be a handrail. It does not heal in one stroke. It heals in small stitches. Another way to see this is through the metaphor of a garden path. Each step you take at a steady pace positions the next step more clearly. If you run hastily, you might stumble. If you take careful, small steps, you arrive. Perhaps more slowly, but with less damage and with more appreciation for the path itself. There is a dignity in that. At this point, you may feel a subtle resistance. You might ask, doesn't this make life small? Aren't we called to grand dreams? Yes, we are called to grand dreams, but the grand is achieved through the small. A cathedral is built brick by brick. The monk who sits with folded hands is not denying the world. He is learning to serve it with steadier hands. Remember the student with the broom. What changed was not the courtyard. The courtyard was already sweepable. What changed was the student's attention. He learned to return. He learned to see what is present. And from that seeing, a different life grew. If you find this gentle, send this to one person who needs a reminder. There is another subtlety I want to name before we close the loop. Often we make rituals into chores. We do them out of guilt. When ritual becomes obligation, it loses heart. The invitation is not to create another duty. It is to create a tender practice, something you would do for a friend. The smallest ritual that carries softness will last longer than the grandest routine that feels punitive. Near the end of our time together, the question returns and deepens. What is the real power of these small acts? Here, at last, is the quiet revelation I have been circling. The power of tiny rituals is not in the action itself. The power is in the repeated act of turning toward life. Every small ritual is an answer to the call. I will choose presence. I will choose care. Over time, these choices do not merely change what you do. They change who you are. It is as if attention is a river, and each small ritual is a stone placed carefully within it. The river finds a new flow because of small interventions. The current adapts. Your life similarly finds a new rhythm because you have chosen to place your stones again and again in deliberate alignment. So when you think of change, do not look only for the earthquake. Look also for the tap of a spoon in a quiet kitchen. Notice the way a smile can reshape a day. Notice the way 3 breaths can create a doorway back into yourself. The core message is simple and gentle. Consistent smallness becomes vastness. Consistent small acts of attention reweave the fabric of life. You are not called to be perfect. You are called to be present. Presence, practiced daily in tiny ways, becomes your marrow. It seeps into speech, work, rest, and love. It is not flashy, it is steady, it is faithful. If you would like to walk this path with me, subscribe and join our quiet community. Before we part, a small closing practice you may carry. Each evening, name one small act you performed that day and offer it a silent bow. It could be as simple as washing a cup, listening to a friend for a moment, or choosing to rest. Bow to that act. Let it be a stone set in your river. Over time, the small stones will shape the current, and you will be surprised at how the landscape of your life has changed. Leave now with a gentle curiosity. Watch what the smallest choices do over the weeks to come. Be patient with yourself. Be persistent without being harsh. Life is not perfected in a day. It is tended slowly and kindly, one small ritual at a time. May your breath be a refuge. May your small acts be a lamp. May you find in the ordinary the extraordinary art of becoming who you truly are.
Take care of your body. It is the only home you will have in this life. If these words brought you clarity, walk this path with me.